All right, everyone, how are you? Welcome to this week's episode of our podcast. It's called Is Breakfast Included? Thanks for stopping by. On the show this week, man, this is a good one. I sit down and talk to Brother Paul Brown, Grammy award-winning producer and keyboardist for the Waterboys. Man, we got into everything from growing up in a homeless school to being called to make music to sleeping on park benches, to winning a Grammy. This is an amazing story. Brother Paul Brown is an amazing human, a very kind human. And I know you're going to enjoy this conversation. We get into a lot of things, and I actually share something very personal with him that I've never told anyone. And that's my connection from meeting him. I just felt comfortable, and I get to tell all you guys. All right, guys, let's check it out. Tell everyone who you are.
I'm Brother Paul, keyboardist for the Waterboys. Brother Paul Brown.
Brother Paul Brown. And where are you today?
I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico today for a show tonight.
I know, man.
Yeah.
You are originally, where are you from originally?
Originally, I was born in Madison, Wisconsin.
Uh-huh.
And then moved to the Philippines with my mom, my stepfather around, I guess, 1 year and a half years old.
Yeah.
And we stayed there for a year or so and then moved to Memphis. And I lived in Memphis until I was 12.
12
And then,
years old.
yeah. And then my mom passed away from an overdose, and they separated me and my brothers and put 3 of us in a homeless school in Nashville, and that was in 1975.
Wow.
Yeah, and I stayed in Nashville. I lived in Nashville from 75 to 79, and ran away with a trumpet and a road atlas. Ran away back to Memphis, and I've lived in Memphis since from 79 until 2006. In 2006, I got an offer to take a gig here in Nashville. So I took it, and I've been in Nashville ever since. Love it.
So at 12, your mom passes away, your stepdad leaves, you and your siblings are orphans, pretty much.
Yeah. We were basically left in a townhouse for about a month until Human Services. Well, the school was wondering where we were.
Yeah.
So they got Human Services to check on us and found us kind of running rampant, and then that's when they made the decision they did reach out to my stepfather, and he didn't really he couldn't do anything with us. He was already seeing somebody else, and my real father was in Colorado and doing his own thing. So it was just, no other family members really wanted us. So we were just kind of, so we were sent off there.
Yeah. And you guys were kept together, you said, you and...
Sort of. One of us, my oldest brother, Sparky, was put in a kind of reformatory in Memphis called Tall Trees. And me, my next to oldest brother, Pete, and my stepbrother, Darwin, were sent to the school the homeless school in Nashville. The unfortunate part about that is, among a lot of them, was that because of our age difference, we weren't allowed to stay in the same dorm. So we were kind of scattered out across the school. So I rarely saw them. Yeah. It was pretty devastating. And I wet the bed, man. So that didn't help either.
Oh. Was that an issue? How long was that an issue?
Man, I tell you, I wet the bed probably till I was in my maybe 19. And craziest thing, Bertie, it stopped out of nowhere. Like like, in school, they tried to give me all kinds of things to like drugs and stuff to try to stop it. And none of that worked. At one point, the dorm supervisor even threw my mattress out of the dorm out on the in the front of the building. So everybody that walked in the other dorms to the cafeteria could see my mattress, and she had my name on it. She somehow thought that might stop me from wetting the bed, but that really didn't work either. So, but yeah, it was the craziest thing. It just one day I woke up and it never happened again. No
Wow.
rhyme or
Yeah.
reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
It's amazing how far we've come from the tactics that people use now, from back then. And I always thought maybe that, well, that's all they knew. Well, we'll shame them into stopping, you know.
Yeah, the shame. Yeah, shame you out of it. Yeah.
But I've never said this. I'm going to tell you because you and I are talking. I had the same problem till I was about 10, you know.
Whoa.
And it was you know, my 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 mom was sympathetic about it. She was very sympathetic and would try all the like, well, don't drink water and don't do this. My dad was not sympathetic about it at all. It was
Yeah.
so I can relate to you on that. I've never said anything like that before. I've never told anyone about that.
Wow, man. Well, thanks for sharing. So,
Yeah.
so, so I'm fascinated to know how you stopped.
It just stopped. I don't know how I stopped. It just stopped. It just stops one
See,
day. It's
see.
almost it. There's no. I think. I mean, it's just one of those things that I would go to bed terrified because I knew it was going to happen, and one night I went to bed terrified and it didn't happen.
Wow, it
And
never
then
happened again. Yeah,
yeah, I could probably make some story up that I told my brain like, okay, now we're going to keep going like baby steps.
yeah,
No, man, it didn't happen one night, and I thought, okay, I'm good.
yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm 55 years old telling you about it.
That's
54,
wow,
54.
man. That is so wow. I remember the feeling of waking up and it not being there, and like feeling so liberated. Like,
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah. I mean, to this day, I can remember like waking up and going now, and in my age and in my knowledge, what knowledge I have, I could say it was a very freeing feeling. I felt
Me
free.
too.
Uh,
Me too.
but
Yeah.
as a 10-year-old kid, I didn't know what to feel other than, okay, I'm not going to get spanked.
Right. 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 No, I'm so with you, man. Yeah. That's
So,
amazing. Thanks. I'm so glad we got to share that, man.
yeah, I don't know why I shared. I could have just let this go and not tell you
No, I'm
about
so
it. Now I'm
glad you
telling
did.
everybody about it.
It's on Zoom now.
um,
the,
so
the
it was at
bedwetting story that went viral.
it was at this school that you is that where you found music, or did you have music before that?
No, man, it's funny because I do remember, and I've never really mentioned this before, but back I guess maybe 7, 8, I can remember finding a couple of wooden guitar bodies
Yeah,
in like a dumpster or something, and and I remember the feeling of feeling connected to that experience of being a musician, even though I had no clue, you know.
yeah,
But in the homeschool is definitely where that's definitely where I mean, but and it happened so fast because in my earlier days before the homeless school, I had no music. There was no music class. It was
yeah,
just school. So this was my first music class experience, and to walk in there and this music teacher, Mrs. Barbara Biggs, who noticed right away, A, how broken I was, and B, how fascinated I was with the piano in her room. And she just instantly nurtured that, man. And she just kind of brought me to life, like in a whole different way.
Yeah.
Uh, the only thing that I had as a security blanket for me going in that school was my hair. It was really long, and that it really was a huge security blanket for me. And when I got in that school, man, if you weren't in high school, you had to cut your hair. And man, if you could see a picture of this barber that cut my hair, and there is one, he just gashed it all up. It was so brutal, man. I mean, it was just mortifying, man. And that made the whole experience even that much more traumatic.
Yeah.
So again, just going back to that first, maybe week or so in elementary school in music class, where she just kind of picked me up by my bootstraps and showed me another way to look at life through that piano. It was just incredible, man.
So you said that she noticed, from the first time. Do you believe that you were given like a God given talent, like you were natural? Did it just come to you?
No, I feel like it's always been gifted. I feel like it just took somebody to help nurture it.
Yeah.
I really do believe that I was put on this earth to do this
Wow. That's yeah.
and to share it and to share, be an inspiration. But first and foremost, I really believe in my soul because of how fast because of how fast I learned
Hmm.
and how fast and how deeply it resonated with me, but also how fate brought this into my life over and over again at times when I could have easily took so many different paths in other directions.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I mean,
no one would fault you for any of those either.
yeah, I mean, at one point, because I had been living in parks and I remember wetting a few of those cardboard boxes living in parks too before I quit wetting the bed. But there was one point when my next to oldest brother he had gotten a job on the Mississippi River hauling crude oil up and down it's on tugboats and uh and I lived in park not too far from the from the office of the river. And I would go there literally every couple of days and go, "Hey, I'm here. Can I have a job?" Because I was starving. I just needed. I had nothing, zero.
Yeah.
The trumpet that I ran away from the school with was a trumpet Louise Mandrell gifted me, and that got ripped off in one of the parks I was living in. So I literally walked on the boat with nothing when I finally got the job there. And man, I tell you what, that could have easily been my career. It could have easily been I could have easily be steering a boat right now instead of
Hmm.
talking to you.
Wow.
But as fate would have it, I was involved in one of the biggest tugboat wrecks in tugboat history, which fostered a means for me to get back into music. And just so many instances like that where fate just brought me. So yeah, I do believe that, man.
Like, hey, you could be this, but we're gonna we're gonna cause something to make you go back to music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And really, the most bizarre part about that is really all I wanted when the boat when the boat had the accident. I wasn't even gonna leave. I was just asking for a leave of absence for a
Yeah.
month to regroup because it was such a traumatic effect, and I so almost lost my life.
Wow.
They wouldn't give me one, so I did quit, and I went back into destitute. And about 3 months later, the very same boat that I was working on hit a lock, going through a lock. They hit it, and the boat sunk and killed three of the deckhands and a cook.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm just like, man. And I didn't even learn about that till probably 5 or 6 years ago that even happened. And
Wow.
yeah, it's really amazing how fate worked its way into, keeping me in this business.
So you run away, you go back to Memphis. Uh, for a while, you're still homeless, correct?
Yeah.
At what point when you make your way back to music? At what point do you start like performing, and what was that like once you started performing in that scene?
Well, I'd say when I when I got married, a, a, some friends that I worked with were musicians,
Mhm.
and I had from the jobs that I would did, like I built fences, I worked at car washes, and oh no, it even goes back before then, man. I actually I had wandered, I kept wandering into this music store in Memphis, and I would just go in there and play. They're in their keyboard rooms, I would play, and the owners kept noticing how people, when I went in to play, and I would literally spend hours in there just noodling and playing,
Yeah.
and people would come and just watch me, and then the owners noticed this, so they actually gave me a job teaching, and I had no clue about teaching. But what I did do is I got books and I learned as quick as I could. And the way I started out is I started just teaching kids techniques that I developed myself, like just
Uh-huh.
fingering techniques. So every week, I got up to like 40 students a week, man. Yeah, it was crazy. And that kind of really set me on this trajectory of like, okay, I can really, like do this for a living. I can, because yeah, before that, yeah, I had been building fences and, just doing all kinds of weird odd jobs and stuff. So, the music store thing really just sent me on that direction, and it was an amazing, and so I did that, and then I ended up getting kind of an all original band, and we started doing that, and then through that I ended up getting like my first publishing deal, and that sent me on, getting to play behind all, because the publishing deal that I got, all the players that were in the studio that were cutting on my songs were people that had played with the Bar-Kays and all these heavy hitters in Memphis, man. And next thing I know, man, I'm playing with the Bar-Kays, and I'm playing with all these soul artists that just out of nowhere, man. And I didn't even go in there. I didn't even get my publishing deal based on that kind of style. It was more of a hard rock funk style,
Uh-huh.
like Night Ranger kind of thing, but a little more, but it leaned a little more funky. So it just in getting with those players just really helped focus me in more of a broader funk soul direction, man.
Yeah.
And
Did it
then
kind of develop your sound?
it did. It
Yeah.
did, man. And then all of a sudden, from then, and again, it's one of those things where fate just played such a beautiful role, because when I got my publishing deal and I was working with Dwayne Thomas and all that stuff, the bass player, and cutting with all these amazing musicians, um, I got wind that the original keyboard player, Winston Stewart, was in the Bar-Kays, was leaving, and I think he was going. He just wanted to get out. I think he was going to do some gigs with the soul legend Shirley Brown.
Yeah.
So I took his place in the Bar-Kays for a little while, and then he left Shirley Brown, and then I got invited to play with Shirley Brown, the Stax legend art, and then
Yeah.
that really, really sent me on a whole nother, style of music, and the way I played, and man, totally repurposed, like, which with the kind of style of music I was playing. rhythmically, it was real funk rock orientated, like the Bar-Kays and a lot of zip thing,
Yeah.
zips and synthesizers and stuff. But but I got my first couple of gigs with Shirley Brown. We were doing her classic woman to woman, man. And during that song, well, a lot of songs, she would break the song down and she would tell these stories, man. And so during that song, she had broke the band down to almost a dead silence. You could hear a pin drop under the band, and she was telling her story. But me, I'm back there doing my Bar-Kays thing, zip, 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 and doing all this stuff. And next thing I know, a high heel shoe comes whizzing past my head, man. I'm not kidding you, man. She didn't say a word, but I froze, man. And dude, man, after the gig, she waited after the gig. She pulled me back in the dressing room, and she said, "Don't you ever play over my notes, over my voice, man, because you're
Yeah.
gonna miss the best shit of your life."
You're doing too much.
Bernie completely changed the way I play forever. In how I support an artist, like,
Yeah.
when I play. And so, you know, I know a lot of times, when I'm on stage, man, I give a lot of energy on stage, and
Yeah.
I'm playing with my life, but there's also an underlying laser focus, man, on the singer
Yeah.
and what he's doing at any given moment, man. So even though if I'm just going, if I'm doing my thing, man, I'm never ever losing sight of that, man, with where he's singing and how he's playing,
Yeah.
and how dynamically and rhythmically I move around with
Yeah.
that. It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of cats, a lot of keyboard players, a lot of guitar players, man. They're not disciplined like that. And,
Mhm.
every little space they could throw in a note they want to, which you can't fault
Yeah.
them for that. But, and your style, man, is really, what's the word I'm looking for, Brother Paul? Greasy.
On the edge of my seat.
It's very greasy. Man, I mean, it just, I can hear the life in the notes you play.
Oh, that's beautiful. The woman that wrote the script that I did the voiceover for this documentary that Yamaha just
Uh-huh.
released on them. One of the things she wrote, which was, she's such a beautiful writer, and I'm hoping that she'll ghostwrite my book with me. But she wrote one line. Plane is dressed in groove and grit. And it's so true, man.
And well, I mean, going to that video, I watched it several times that you sent me, and you're playing this old upright piano. Is that the school you were sent to?
Dude, I just got chills. You asking that, man. Yes. It was the very auditorium that I did my first concert in. And that piano was the piano I played.
Yeah.
It was the very upright piano I played. And I was around 17, and at that point I had a lot of popularity by that time, man, because I had a really cool band. I had, uh, and we were doing some really cool covers and stuff, and so we did this concert in that very auditorium, and we and there's some footage it's not there, but there's some footage of me on the pipe organ. There's a pipe organ in that auditorium. So
Hmm.
when I opened the concert, I actually opened it up playing this intro on that huge pipe organ, and then I jumped up on the stage, ran over to the upright piano, and bolted into Cold as Ice. Cold as Ice, man. The first song of my first concert ever. And yeah, it was so emotional, Bernie, man, being in that space, filming in that space, and playing that piano, and though it was out of tune, just putting my laying my hands on it, man, and oh,
That's a great transition in that video when you're playing and then it transitions to you playing that piano and it's out of tune, but you're playing the same notes that it almost came, it's just a great scene in that video of yours.
yeah, it really kudos for some masterful editing on that, man. Because I was blown away when I watched the end, when I watched the final version, man. That that happened that organically, because it
Yeah.
wasn't like they AI'd it in. I mean, that's like for real.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Man.
so man, you've played with so many bands, you've produced so many bands. How do you adapt your style when you're moving between genres? Soul, gospel, rock, funk, folk, how do you adapt it?
That's a great question, man. I think it all depends on A, the artist, and two, an body instinct.
Hmm.
Like I don't when I like for instance, I don't want to give too much of a spoiler alert, I'll tell you that um I reimagined the Fleetwood Mac song "Dreams" and uh for an artist that I'm working with.
Uh-huh.
And but when I set out to do it, I really didn't. I just really, it was like instantly following my instincts, or like albums that I did with Bobby Rush. All those I just sit down, or he'll sit down and he'll start playing a guitar groove, and something will just instantly come to me based on their vibe, with the information I'm getting from them. So I try not to really overthink it. I just really try to go with whatever first comes in my soul. And I've
Uh-huh.
learned to trust that a lot, Bernie.
Yeah.
Man, like implicitly, I trust that.
So it's like a feeling thing, like a vibe.
It's it's total feeling, man. Total
Yeah.
feeling. Yeah. Horn
Um,
parts are a little different. Like when I'm writing horn parts or horn section stuff, I kind of really, think out some things there and try different things. But normally, man, yeah, when it comes to just building out tracks or producing an artist, or producing an artist's vocal, it's really just what instantly comes from the feeling.
um, Speaking of that, like what does it feel like to you when someone comes up to you and tells you how much they admire, the way you're saying, like it's just a feeling. Like when someone comes up and says, "Man, I dug those keys tonight or those horns tonight." What does that mean to you?
It means that it's well, I always tell everybody it comes from a place of gratitude, and it
Mhm.
really does. And really, it's just always affirming. It's when they tell me that, it just affirms that, yeah, man, the gratitude, it's really coming across. They're feeling this, they're feeling what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And it really does make me feel so good that they feel this, and it took them to a different place. And yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's really great.
Yeah. I try to I know it. I know I play with my life, and I put myself so deep into it, but at the same time, I also try to take myself out of it because I don't want it to be self-serving.
Yeah.
Well, I'm serving them, it's a service. I'm giving.
Yeah.
So I'm not so worried about what I'm getting from it, because
Yeah.
I always get, what the band gives me and what the audience gives back from their, God, it's always so incredibly uplifting to me, man. So now it's like, for me, it's like just giving to them.
when when we were introduced last week, I was introduced to you as Brother Paul Brown, and immediately I just got this feeling like, all right, you call him nothing else. Where did the name? Have you always been Brother Paul Brown?
Oh, that's an easy one, man. And it's so simple. It's not what you would think. Man, when I first met Mike Scott from the Waterboys,
Uh huh.
just started calling him, "Hey, brother Mike." I just like, "Hey, brother Mike. Hey, brother." And so he just started calling me Brother Paul, and it just stuck. That was it. It's the only reason I got the name, and I embraced it.
So that's been your constant gig since what, 2014 in the
Yeah,
Waterboys. How
man.
do you how does it feel getting to play all those great songs that they've written?
Gosh, man. To play behind lyrics like those, and behind a voice like that, and behind an artist like that who still has the passion of a teenager. I mean, you know, everything he does, he focuses his life on it, man.
Yeah.
Like every instance of every from I mean, we're almost a month into our North American tour, and
Uh-huh.
during this sound check, we're pulling out a song we haven't played in a long time, and he every night when we do sound checks, he'll have notes and he'll have things to make things just a little bit better, refinements, man, and he's so all in, committed, man, and I tell you, I'm always pinching myself that I'm with an artist like that and with a band like this, and everybody in the band and the keyboard player, man, Bernie. I tell so many people this, man. I have never loved playing with another keyboard player as much as I've loved playing with James Hollowell, man.
Right on.
I tell everybody that yeah, man, I have never loved playing with another keyboard player as much as I've loved playing with James Hollowell, man. There's something about him, and we share a beautiful Memphis soul, Memphis connection too, with Boo Mitchell and Willie Mitchell's son, and a lot of those players, man. And he's really interconnected with that, and I didn't even know that until not too long ago, and man, and so there's this beautiful, soulful connection, man, that we have, and a synergy that I've never ever felt with anybody else, man. And I'm just again, I'm just pinching myself because you asked me what it feels like to play behind an artist and the songs like that, man. And the collective of Mike Scott and James and Angus and the bass player and Eamon the drummer. It's such a beautiful, beautiful group of musicians to travel with and play with. And
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, Mike was just trying to video call me while we're doing the Zoom because he probably wanted to go hang out and see what I'm up to in Santa Fe, and because he loves this place, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love this group and these people so much, man.
Right on, man. That's awesome. And you sound grateful.
It is grateful, and it's not. I promise you, it's not hyped up on caffeine from tea,
Yeah.
man. It really is coming from a place of gratitude.
Uh, this is an offbeat question. You also pick up the keytar occasionally. How is that different? Is there a different kind of energy when you pick that up as opposed to when you're sitting at a piano or a B3 or
Well, truth to tell, man, I'm a guitar junkie to begin with, man.
okay.
I've always thought I was supposed to be a guitar player at some point, And for a while, I did play guitar. I was a guitar player, and I had a 1973 white Flying V, man. And but I chopped part of my finger off, my left ring finger, man, and it just feels so weird to fret on, to touch the fretboard with that finger,
Yeah.
and it just completely, I just really lost all inspiration to play anymore, you know. But but something about if the, the if I were to play guitar right now, playing guitar is what that would look like. But it's funny because I always think, for some reason, every 10 years, I find a good excuse to pick one up again. Like, the last time I played guitar was the Jimmy Jameson Survivor, like Eye of the Tiger, man,
Oh,
and
wow.
Search is Over. Yeah, I was playing guitar, and that was 2000. And after that, man, I thought, and I play, and then like 87, I have pictures of me, videos of me playing guitar in 1987 with an all original band. Then at some point I gave it up, and then and then found another reason to pick it up in another band, and then with Jimmy Jameson, and then when I finished with Jimmy Jameson, I really thought my days were over for guitar. I really thought that was it. And then I mean, I have to ask Mike, man, how that even happened, because it feels like it happened pretty organically. How I even picked that up, man. And but Mike really, the thing is, he really saw something in that. He really felt like I could pull it off without it looking or sounding too gimmicky, man. And the sounds in it in general are crap, man. I really don't like the sounds in it. But what I did do is I spent a couple of days on my Yamaha Montage keyboard, and I spent a couple of days like meticulously developing a sound that was so emotive, man, based on how I hit, how dynamically I hit, how I used the vibrato, how respond to so many different things that physically that I could do. And so when I triggered that using the guitar, all of a sudden it felt like an expression of my soul. Like when I'm playing, it really feels like an expression. It doesn't feel like I'm doing, like doing some, disco-y, thing. Or it really feels natural,
It
man.
doesn't feel like you should be wearing a vinyl suit.
That's right. It does not, man. Yeah. Even though most of the suits I do have are from the 70s. Well, no, seriously, we were doing it. We were rehearsing. I was with Ann Peebles, a soul artist, for years. I was her musical director and producer, and and we were doing a tour. We were rehearsing for a tour one year, and we had Leroy Hodges from the High Rhythm section playing bass, and he pulls up in his Camaro for the rehearsal, and he opens his trunk and he pulls out all his clothes from the 70s, man, and he hands them over to me. So I wear them, man. I wear them with great reverence, man. And
Heck yeah,
the same
man.
thing, yeah. And so all of a sudden, when people find this stuff out, they start giving me their shit, man. Like Kenny, like Kenny Gradney from Little Feat, man, was doing it. I have a band with him called the Brothers Brown, and it's me and another Paul Brown and Kenny Gradney and David Santos, who was with Elton John and Billy Joel, and he's Wendy Moulton's husband. And but Kenny, I was in LA working with Kenny on some stuff, and Kenny hands me over these amazing jackets and fringe jackets and stuff. So in that video, the one that you saw,
Yeah.
the first video, the blue pinstripe suit is Leroy Hodges. The suit the long fringe jacket that I'm
Yeah.
wearing on Beale Street, that's Kenny Gradney's.
I
So
love
yeah,
it, man. I love it.
I love how our story forks, man. Like you ask me a question, and all of a sudden, man, it's like,
No,
God,
man, that's what
wait.
it's about. That's what it's, I mean, like I said, you have an amazing story, and it sounds cheesy what I'm about to say. It's not over yet.
No, it's not, man. Yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
and I feel like I'm at such a beautiful time in my life. I feel like I really want to spend the next however many years or how much time that I have doing things like what you and I are doing now. Like I just did a Zoom talk with a really dear friend of mine, who was a writer for the Commercial Appeal in Memphis, a music reviewer and writer, and now he's a professor, and he invited me to do this Zoom with his college kids. So I did that a couple of months back, man, and just the response was so amazing, man. So really, Bernie, I just want to give back in this on forums like these, like what you
Yeah.
and I do, share my story and share and hope that it inspires somebody, man, if they're having, in some way.
Well, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I've just got a couple of more questions for you, man. Here's one I've been asking. What is the best part and worst part of your week so far?
Oh, that's a great question. The worst part is waking up and not being able to work out.
Ah,
Not waking up too, like really, because my workout routines are so important to me. It's so easy to fall in a groove here, man, when so you don't eat proper, and you don't rest proper, you don't get enough sleep, and you're not motivated, and you're playing with your life. So all of a sudden it can just snowball, and before you know it, man, you're out of shape. And for me, out of shape for me, it doesn't mean so much physically how I look. What it means to me is how I feel after a show, so I don't feel like I've been hit by a train
yeah.
after I've flung my neck a gazillion times or played with my life. So my workouts are really important. And so, like what I was telling you, I think before we started recording, we had a show. It was a late show, and I think in Portland, Oregon, and we had to fly after that the next morning at 9:15 checkout, to fly here to Santa Fe. So basically, I just had enough time to get up, tear down my universe, and my sweetheart universe. I have a whole universe of every tour before I'll go out on a tour. My sweetheart Janny puts in a little card in my case and sneaks it in there. So I have this whole beautiful collection of cards. So I have cards all around me, with that she made for me. But yeah, so if I don't if I though that's the worst part of this week is when I had to wake up and I couldn't just do my workout thing. And Janie and I really didn't have a chance to just connect and talk and have a cup of tea together in the morning. And that means so much to me too. The best part of this week was reconnecting with dear friends, man, in LA and Phoenix.
Uh-huh.
Uh, my dear friend Jeff D'Elia, who manages Bobby Rush and AJ Crochet and ZZ Ward. He's such a brilliant, gifted manager, man, but he's also just a dear friend. And I haven't seen him in ages. I think, yeah, it's been years since I've seen him, man. So just to get to connect with these people, and Susan Michelson, who was, Dick Manager's partner manager, Dick Wagner, who co-wrote "Welcome to My Nightmare" and "Only Women Bleed" with Alice Cooper. Dick Wagner and Steve Hunter, the guitar guys,
Yeah.
right? So I was when Dick Wagner passed away. I was Susan's musical director for a charity she had in his name. And so I haven't seen her for ages. So she made it with her husband to the Phoenix show. So the best part of this week, man, was getting to reconnect with all these beautiful people. And Jim Kelter came to the LA show, man. Whoa, man.
I know,
That
man.
was crazy. Yeah. So yes, I love being able to reconnect with people along the tour too, man.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is awesome. Well, brother Paul, I like I said, thank you. We could probably talk about your career all night, but I'm going to
or a
let you
host
go.
of other stuff.
Our podcast, yeah, amongst other stuff. We could fork off on all kinds of topics.
Yeah, like a family tree.
Yeah. Our podcast, it's called Is Breakfast Included? And if we were having breakfast, what would you have?
Oh man, dude, I carry my own yogurt. Uh, I carry yogurt, protein smoothies, and a granola, a protein granola, honey. So that's basically what I do. We have a crew tour bus, and what I'll do is I'll put my yogurt in there, and so after the show I'll get my yogurt out, and then I'll have it in the fridge for the next day.
Yeah.
So that my ultimate breakfast for me is I do vitamin C and ginger shots, and then I do yogurt, high protein yogurt, granola, and honey, and yeah, and I'm good. I'm golden, man, for the day.
Right on, man. Sounds healthy.
Man, yeah. Oh, one more thing. It's really, really worth pointing out, man. So I know you'll do your condensing magic, but after every show, thinking about how much I love being in this band and the question that you asked. One thing we do after every show is we have soup. And man, I tell you, I've never been in a band that does that. And man, Bernie, it is so replenishing, man. When spent almost 2 hours on stage just playing with your life, and you come back to a healthy, light bowl of soup, man. Gosh, wow, it's the best, man.
Yeah, that sounds delicious. It sounds better than after show pizza.
It is. And I'm telling you, it's so easy to get trapped in that, man.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it is.
Mike is so health conscious, and I just love that. One of the many things I love about him. But he's like really, really health conscious. You make sure that when we stop or when we, or what we have catered in or whatever it is, it's always super healthy salads. And it's great.
Right on, man. Well, brother, I do appreciate your time, man. Where can people find you online and what you're doing?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of places. One, if they go to Yamaha's website, they can find me on. I did have a website, but I found that I loved how Yamaha fashioned my website. In the series that they've launched called 3440, they just launched my feature on that series, and in that feature is a really in-depth blog about my life and my journey.
Yeah.
And it was from a viewpoint from a great writer, not just something that I wrote myself, man. So, and also that video that you saw is on there. So if they just go to Yamaha.com or Yamaha 3440 Brother Paul, man, you can find out all about me there. And of course, the Waterboys. They're Waterboys, MikeScottWaterboys.com. They can find out about me there. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just go, Brother Paul Waterboys, and then boom, right there. TikTok, yeah, I'm on all that, man. So yeah.
Right on, man. Well, Brother Paul, it was really, really great talking to you, man. It was a pleasure.
Burton. Wow. Well, it's been such a blast talking to you. Thank you so much, man, for the invite, man. Sure appreciate it.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. You too. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Right on. Brother Paul Brown, Grammy Award winning producer, keyboard player for the Waterboys. They just finished a tour here in the US, and they're going to start a tour overseas very soon. So if you're around, make sure you check him out. How about that guy, man? How about that guy? If you can, we're going to link a video montage that Yamaha did for him. It tells this story. It's beautifully done, and you should check it out. You can find him on Instagram at bro_Paul1963. While you're online, check out isbreakfast.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Rate and review the show at Apple Podcasts. Go to our YouTube page, like, subscribe.